Welcome everyone to another episode of VTM Independence. Tonight we are holding a time-lapse event. No specific date or time, just a little fun thing to throw in here for the month. I'm gonna say it's a relatively clear, warm, moderate night, um, where we find Kelvin trudging the streets for new talent, as it were. Driving around in his 2006 Lotus. Um, he pulls up to a stop sign, or sorry, a street light that happens to be red. His windows down, music turned off, just enjoying the quiet of the night when he picks up the sound of a guitar.
And possibly from a couple blocks away, there's this young woman sitting on a street corner with a little. She's just simply sitting on the ground with her guitar on her lap and it hooked up into a little sound system that's by her side. She's just hanging her head down, strumming out the notes and singing out a couple and singing out the lyrics. Possibly not really caring how loud she is, but as anyone draws closer, they might notice that she's singing the Stairway to Heaven.
And Calvin will take the time to parallel park his car a couple blocks away and get out and head towards the music, liking the sound of it, uh, liking the soft melody of the female's voice as he makes his way towards it, his mind already turning and thinking, well, what if I put live music in for a night? Wonder how many people I could draw in with that. As he gets closer, he sees this woman.
She pays no she pays no attention to anyone who gets close. She's just looking down at her guitar, eyes practically closed as she's just singing along with the song and her fingers strumming along with the chords of Stairway to Heaven.
And Kelvin will stand there. We'll say there's a slightly small gathering listening to the street performer. And he'll patiently wait till the end of her song um, before walking up and dropping a 20 in the music box. I'm guessing her guitar box is open like any other street performer.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll drop a 20 in the box or case.
As she finally strums out the final note, she'll she'll look up and see a few people dropping money in. She'll see the rather generous donation of 20 and she'll look up at Calvin. Maybe something you didn't notice before, but she'll brush aside her hair and actually pull out what seems to be an earplug. And she'll just pull them both out before looking up. Uh, Hello. Thank you. I didn't think anyone was actually listening.
Well, it was finely played and really well done, especially for a street performer.
I used to be a bit of a professional. And she'll strum out a couple notes again, almost as if she's about to start up the song, but she'll stop herself. But I suppose I am just a street performer now.
Indeed. Well, tell you what, I do enjoy what I hear, and quite possibly, if you'd be willing, uh, maybe come to my club sometime and give us a live performance. I might be able to hook you up with a fellow musician I know. And with that, he'll pull out his card and toss it into the case.
And she'll grin a bit as she reaches over to grab the card. What's the name of the club again? How the character? Hots.
Yep, Hots. Hots
And sh-
Gentlemen's Club.
and she'll just look up at him before looking down at the card. Not usually my sort of venue, but I suppose it's a start.
Like I said, gotta get your foot in somewhere, and we'll at least get you started off. I pay well.
Have any other sorts of instruments there, or am I just bringing my own guitar?
I'm sure with the right calls I can get whatever you need there. I do have a musician friend, goes by the name of Everly. Song. Oh crap. It is Songbird, right? Silverbird. Something.
Silverbird, yeah.
Yeah. Been so long since I've seen the Prince. Everly Silverbird. Uh, Local artist, but she's fairly good in her own right as well.
And Evelyn, Evelyn will just nod at this before going over to the case and slowly sorting out the money. Is there any preferred time you'd want me to drop on by?
Actually, we are holding an event later tonight. You're more than welcome to stop by then. It's sort of a tribute to Valentine's Day, be it.
A little bit early for that, but I suppose it's in. I suppose it suits your club.
Indeed, we run a week-long special for the entire thing.
I wonder why. And she'll chuckle as she pulls all the rest of the money out of the case and stuffs it into her pocket for the time being. Do you have a preferred time for me to drop on by?
Well, club opens at 4. Generally, we don't get busy until 8, so probably around 8. And depending on how well you do, there's an after party when we shut down at 2.
Hmm. I'll be around 10, 11.
That'll work. Until then. And Calvin will give one of his more charming smiles and head back to his Lotus, get in, and continue his hunt for new entertainment for his club. At this point, we will time skip uh, quite a few hours into the night. Club will open. Uh, Dances will start. Kelvin will spend a majority of the start of the night doing his business up in his office, checking the stock market and whatnot. Speaking of, I need to make a roll for that. Good deal. He's having a very good night. And, yeah. So we'll proceed to 10, 11 o'clock.
Is anyone going to intro before me, or?
Apparently not. Um, though a lot of the vampires were told they could come before 2 o'clock, they were told the actual party for the kindred wouldn't start until after 2.
Well, Lucas would probably arrive around, eh, say 10. Yeah, probably arrive around 10. And he'd probably sit in his car for a while, waiting, try to survey around, see if he can't spot any.
Eddie was
Um,
probably actually following you there.
oh, okay, that works. All
Yeah.
right.
So
He'll
he's
probably.
pulled over his motorcycle and turned it off, and he's been kind of chatting with you, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, strip club, yeah.
Look at this guy. Yeah. Give a thumbs up.
Yeah, Eddie returns this
That,
thumb.
so I guess it's just you and me for now, huh?
Yeah, just out here, stag. We're gonna have fun tonight.
He'll chuckle.
So who's the guy we're coming here to see?
I believe his name is Calvin, if I remember. I only met him once, so
Hmm.
don't know too much about him, but I've heard a few things.
Well, looks like he's got some taste.
Yeah.
So, you wanna go in? Come on, man.
All right. He'll t- make sure to bring his bag with him and start heading in.
All right, Eddie's walking, leading the way.
And when you enter, um, again, bouncer at the front door greets you. Um, Anybody slipping Kelvin's name gets free entrance. Um,
Eddie walks up to the bouncer and says, "Hey, boss, I'm here to see Calvin."
come in. He said he was having company tonight. First door on the right. He's up in his office.
Cool, man. You have a good night.
Like, so, follow by, Eddie.
Eddie's gonna be using presence once I get my character sheet.
Well, you walk in. Um, it's actually quite a packed house. Very noticeably, very human right now. Um, though the dancers on the poles right now are doing a fantastic job. Um,
Nice.
God, I haven't actually been to the club in months. I don't know who's actually still out there. So I'm going to forego names tonight. And yeah, so when you make your way up the entryway and into the private offices of Kelvin, um, yeah, not a whole lot to say. It's fairly spacious. Again, chairs and couches scattered around the office. Kelvin sitting behind his desk, though, as soon as he gets people in, he stands up and puts on a charming smile, though if anybody wants to give a perception alert, or sorry, perception expression roll.
I will definitely do that. Expression. Okay. Rolling it to die. Average difficulty, I assume.
Yeah, average difficulty, trying to beat 3. So, Lucas, you wouldn't have noticed.
Okay.
Trying to get to that character sheet.
Not a problem.
Trying to find the character sheet. The team.
During all this, Aveline's probably trained. She's probably heading to the club, dragging along her guitar case and the little sound system that she had along with it. She's probably not there yet, so.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't find it, so we'll just say that Eddie doesn't bother with that.
Okay. So what goes past your nonsenses is Kelvin's quick look of disgust at, oh, look, men. But you don't catch that, so you just see his charming smile. Welcome, welcome. Lucas, was it?
Yes, yes. And this is Bruja friend here, Eddie.
Hey,
Actually,
what's
Bruja
going on?
Primogen.
A Primogen. I'm glad to have you join my club.
Yeah, you got a nice place here.
I try. It was quick construction, but I think they did a pretty fantastic job with the place.
Yeah, looks good, man. So, yeah, you having your little Valentine celebration?
Yes, having a Valentine's week, as it were. It's actually
Uh,
bringing in quite a bit of money. I'm very happy, as are the girls.
I'm sure.
But please, come in, enjoy, and first couch dances are on me.
Sweet. He like punches Lucas in the arm, like playfully, lightly. He's like, "Come on, man, let's go."
Like, all right, all right.
And there's going to be a knock on the office door.
Kelvin will raise his hand and wave the person in. It's a glass door. So,
And you'll just see Aveline kind of like shuffle around the door, maneuvering the big guitar case in awkwardly as she shuffles on in and closes the door behind her. Sorry, I fell late. I had to go grab a couple things from my house, my apartment.
that's not a problem. Yes, well, as soon as this dance is done, we'll clear off the side stage, uh, take down that extra bar. I did manage to get some accompaniment for you, um, as well as some relatively decent speakers, I hope. I'm not a music man myself. I just know what I like, and I liked what I heard.
I'll check the sound system before I use it. A little bit of, it won't take that much.
Shit, what are you gonna play? You gonna play some rock?
Any requests? And she'll look between the three of them.
You know any Zeppelin?
Funny. That's what Mr. Oh, hey, you never introduced yourself. And I never introduced myself either. Aveline Morgan. I was playing Led Zeppelin on the street when he found me. Stairway to Heaven.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice.
Kelvin will walk up and hold out his hand for hers. Kelvin Harvey. Sorry, I thought my name was on the card. My mind was just slightly off about that beautiful music you were playing.
Eddie walks up and offers a hand to both of them at the same time, says, Eddie Kotovich.
I mean, Evelyn will try to shake both their hands at once. A pleasure to meet you both.
Lucas will wait until she's done shaking both her hands.
Eddie steps aside for Lucas.
He'll reach out his hand and say, Lucas, come.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Lucas. And she'll extend her hand to reach to shake yours as well.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming these are special guests of yours?
Yes, they're here for the after party.
The one that if I play well enough, I might be able to go to.
Indeed. Hopefully quite a few high rollers will be showing up tonight, but I didn't get the response that I was hoping to. Either way, if you'd like to talk compensation, before or after is fine.
Well, what do you pay what do you pay that other musician? Not your Miss Everly. Silverbird? Miss Silverbird, what do you pay her usually?
I actually don't pay her. I just know she's a musician of talent in the city.
Hmm. We'll barter it out aside later. I assume something a little akin to minimum wage. For now, shall do. It is a trial run anyways.
Indeed. Well, boys, go enjoy yourselves. I'll be down in a moment. And if you need any help with the equipment, just let the man at the door know.
Alright. And you'll notice she'll turn right away to go get him. Because she's a professional. She wants her presentation to be impeccable.
Eddie's like, awesome, thanks, man. And he's gonna go take that couch dance.
Lucas is going to thank Calvin, walk after Eddie, and once they get down like the stairs a little bit, he's going to kind of whisper to Eddie, like, think that new girl's, like, uh, you know, in a very low whisper, one of us?
I don't know, man. Then again, you don't look like one of them. Yeah.
Ha ha ha. He'll kind of give that little punch to Eddie. Like,
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about that right now. Let's go get women to dance on our crotches. And he points over to the couch.
Lucas would probably just take a seat at the bar. Well, you enjoy that.
I will.
And there is a wide variety of girls all around. Easy to find someone of your specific tastes. As for the music equipment, they are actually almost top of the line equipment. You'll notice, almost as if no expense was spared to get all this stuff set up.
Nice. Eddie's going to walk over and just stick a finger in the bra strap of the back of some girl, Barbie doll looking girl bra, and just drag her over to a couch, probably from someone else.
Lucas is gonna just take out a sketchbook and
And Morgan, while she's getting all, is she getting all the equipment set up? If you're looking, you might notice she actually wolf whistled at a couple of the girls as she was walking by. But aside from that, she was plugging in her guitar, making a few test strokes, kind of just going around and messing with the speakers a little bit in advance.
And when she's finally set up, the DJ will announce her and step down from his post uh, from across the room, tipping his hat and heading out the door.
All right. So would you say this is average difficulty?
Yeah.
And since she's singing, would you say that her enchanting voice kicks in?
For all the men in the room, yes.
This actually kind of saves my ass a little. Let's see. So that is 8 dice.
Watch the botch.
Hold on. Fuck. Wrong dice. I accidentally rolled 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 1. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. She has 6 successes. So, do you want to explain how well she performs this with 6 successes?
Well, she performs very well, and
She's playing Stairway to Heaven. In fact, what Calvin might notice is she's playing it a hell of a lot better than she did on the street. She's putting her all into this song.
So well, in fact, that you're even drawing attention away from the dancers. Yeah, oops. But it's a relatively slow song in comparison to what the dancers are used to, so they're probably fumbling a little bit trying to get in the groove of something like that, compared to the club music that's usually playing here. But it seems to go over very well with the crowd, and let me see. Okay. And overall, it actually holds the crowd most of the night. Uh, Big tips all around, and you'll find even by the end of the night, the girls are tipping you like they would tip the regular DJ. So you're getting, for the $20 couch dance, you're getting $4 out of that 20 per couch dance, and you're actually making quite a bit of bank.
Yes.
So,
By the end of the night, perhaps around when he said that the after party would be soon taking place, she'll finally stand up and put her guitar aside and give a bit of a bow as she walks off stage, sort of getting her exit off, just making it look like it's all part of the performance. It looks like she's definitely practiced this sort of thing before.
and throughout the night, Calvin would have come down to mingle with the guests, as well as get a few dances of his own. Would have tracked down Eddie and Lucas to find out how their night's going, offer them beverages suited to their kind.
Eddie, Eddie will, he'll be like, "Hey, what's the nicest whiskey you got in this joint?" And he gets up and leaves the couches to like offer to go take a shot with you.
And Calvin will join you, and you'll pull out a 1977 bourbon, actually, to join you with. As for whiskey, he has. Shoot, trying to remember my whiskeys right now. All I can think of is Fireball because that's what's in my hand right now.
Eddie will go for Eddie will spring for the bourbon. He's like, I'll take that. That's good.
Oh yeah. So Calvin will do a shot of bourbon with you.
Eddie just takes the shot. And he's like, I'm gonna regret that later. And he gives Calvin a little bit of a wink. But it was good.
And Calvin will just chuckle. I trained myself long ago, he says, rubbing his stomach. Clearly, definitely enjoying the drink, as the Eat Food merit allows.
Aveline actually would have, she's probably a couple seats away, but she'll have joined you guys at the bar and requested wine if she could.
Oh yeah, they have quite a few different wines and champagnes. Not really the fanciest of things, but definitely a decent selection, as any bar should.
And she'll probably ask for the glass only to build and be filled about halfway. And once receiving the glass, she'll pull a flask out of her purse, and she'll pop off the lid and start pouring it into the glass.
The bartender will give you a look of, what you doing? But upon Kelvin's steady gaze, the bartender will just let it go. Because Kelvin knows that she's making him money, so if she brought in her own drink, so be it.
And he just kind of arches a brow, looks at her, and says, good show, good show. Yeah.
And once she's done pouring the liquid into that glass, she'll just start swirling it about to mix it. Thank you. I felt like that's probably the best I've played in a couple months, to be honest. Nothing but a good crowd to get you going, I guess. And she'll take a sip of her newly mixed wine.
And, well, we gotta have fun. So, a drunk's actually going to come up to Aveline and throw his arm around her. Hey, lass, that was a great show. So when you going to take your clothes off like the rest of them?
Eddie looks at Aveline in the eye like, you want me to get rid of this loser? But he doesn't say anything.
Nope, she's just gonna look over at him and she's just gonna simply say, piss off. Dominate one. Alright, where the fuck are the dice I'm supposed to roll for that? Rah!
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the dice for me to tell this guy to go piss off. Manipulation, intimidation. So there's 6 dice. Does enchanting voice include I don't really know if it technically envelopes dominate, does it?
Nope.
Because it's still me using her voice to intimidate, but
The
whatever.
command may be included in a sentence.
I'll figure this out later. Anyways, I rolled 4 successes.
Alright, and I'm guessing your one word was piss, not the
Yep.
off. So, as any drunk would do in such a situation, he starts
Oh,
pissing himself.
And probably upon noticing this, she'll push him away. Ew, gross, go clean yourself up.
Quick question. Since Lucas has seen Mitch dominate someone before, would he notice, like, would he kind of notice it from her, too?
I think the general consensus is it's easier for someone with dominate to know.
Mm-hmm.
But
The command may be included in a sentence, thereby concealing the power's use from others. This effort is as subtlety will require the kindred to make eye contact at the proper moment and stress the keyword slightly. An alert bystander, Lucas, or even the victim may notice the emphasis. Still, unless she's conversant with supernatural powers, the individual is likely to attribute the utterance and so you do know powers. So yes, I would say that you could make an alertness
do you want me
roll.
to make some kind of like manipulation subterfuge?
Yeah. So
Alright.
you guys can clash against that.
And I'm guessing I don't get just average difficulty.
I'd be against each other, so 6s and higher for you both.
Oh, shit.
Oh. DOS.
Yeah.
2.
Hold on. I believe I have 2 as well.
And Defender
So
wins, so.
defender wins. So
To you, it looks like it kind of just looks like any other girl getting pissed off that a drunk guy is on his shoulder.
and Calvin's going to wave towards the bouncer to get the guy out of here. He doesn't mind a good drunk, but not a nasty one.
And she's probably checking herself to make sure she's not wet from it.
Lucas kind of, you alright over there?
Yeah, I guess I'm alright. And she's gonna look as the guy's being led away.
that was
Alcohol.
And Calvin's going to pull up to you. Very sorry about that. Probably should have made mention that you were just here for other forms of entertainment, not our usual.
It is a gentleman's club, so that would have been appreciated.
My oversight. I do apologize.
Yeah, wonderful job on your performance. Very, very good.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb. And she'll swivel around. What kind of bar seat are these? Are they like the kind you can swivel around in, or?
Yeah, you can swivel in them. They have the half backs, so you can still lean up against them.
And she'll swivel around to look at the 3 of them. I was almost tempted to go over to the DJ's table. It looks like I threw off everyone for a bit.
By all means, though, don't screw up his equipment, please. That stuff was a little bit pricey. He says,
And
almost as if not knowing how much he just spent on equipment.
And she'll actually give you a bit of a look before looking over at it. Well, it is his instrument, so messing with another musician's tool is, I'd say, rather taboo in a sense. It's just like I wouldn't want anybody else playing with my guitar.
And I wouldn't want anybody riding my motorcycle. Feel you.
Exactly.
And I don't want anybody messing with my artbook.
Indeed. We all have things we would rather people not mess with.
I want to look into a piano someday, but that'll be something I can do on my own time. I do hear there's a nice little place called the Desert Rose that I might be able to weasel my way into to play.
Yeah, I've heard good things, though I've only been there once myself. Not my cup of tea. I prefer to see the full effect of a woman's natural form without any clothes inhibiting.
And Aveline will just roll her eyes at this.
Lucas kind of chuckle a little bit and say, "So how long have you been a musician?"
For as long as I can remember, really. And she'll lean back in her chair. I guess you could say I grew up on it as soon as I was able to pick, basically pick up what was it? It was like a recorder. Something really, really mundane, but the moment I could do it, my parents had me in lessons. Piano, guitar, woodwind instruments. I imagine I can pick up almost anything and, with a bit of practice, do something.
So seeming more like you didn't pick music, music picked you.
I suppose you could say it, but I guess I'm rather proud that it chose me.
And about this time, Calvin's Rolex on his arm will beep a couple times, and he'll look at it and hold up a finger to not be rude as he heads off towards the main stage. And he picks up a mic and very calmly, very gently to the crowd. Okay, it's 2 o'clock. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So finish up your drinks and head on out. Thanks for your patronage.
Aveline will just simply sip at her drink while she listens to this.
Eddie kind of stretches, leans back a little bit on the stool. Ah, this place is nice. I like this. I'm getting used to this. Yeah.
And as people start filing out for the night, a couple of the strippers will also get dressed and head on out. But you'll notice that a few of them will stay uh, dressed up, and Calvin will make his way back to the bar as the bartender starts doing her closing stuff, and she'll nod to Eddie. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it. You are more than welcome to visit any time.
Thanks.
Speaking of which, I believe I got enough payment for all the tips. I didn't expect to get that kind of turnout, to be honest. I don't think you need to pay me out of your own pocket.
Okay, well, if you are fine off, then by all means you are more than welcome to stay as either entertainment or as a guest. You certainly earned it tonight.
And she'll smile and pick up her wine glass almost as if to toast. I'll stick around for an hour or two. I do need to find some place to stay, though. But that shouldn't be too hard. There's a place on the road that I've been at.
Well, if the night draws to a close and you need a ride, by all means, I like to treat, how best to put that, all my employees well.
So I'm an employee now. And she'll smirk a bit.
Well, you did work for the night, so even if it's temporary, you are an employee for the night.
If you ever need me to come back, and she'll look about. Do you have anything for me to write on?
Uh, yeah, back up in the office.
Do you have your phone?
And he flips out one of the newest iPhones.
And she'll just kind of look at it and pull out her dinky little flip phone. And she'll recite off her phone number. Should you ever need I suppose, live performance, just give this call a number. I'll be out about in the area for a long time. It's rather fun to jump venue to venue.
Indeed. Well, with such a good reception, might make this a weekly event, or maybe every 2 weeks. Whatever fits your schedule.
Eh, week weekly would do rather nicely, actually. I don't have anything else going on other than street performances, so my schedule's a free slate.
So, Eddie, what type of line of work are you in?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of drugs, a little bit of guns. You name it, I try and do it. Every now and then, crush a car with somebody you don't want anybody else to find in it. You know, I'm the president of the Satan's Children. He turns around and he shows you the patch of his on the back of his leather jacket, which is the uh, thing I have up where it says Satan's Children. That's like his gang thing.
I believe Miss Everly was wearing something like that when she came in last.
Yeah, good. Yeah, she's one of the new members.
What a small world. I was just talking about her a little bit ago, about how she was a fairly well-known musician in these parts.
Yeah, I've heard her once or twice. She's awesome. She's a fun girl. She's like a little sister. I just, give her money and she goes and buys
Pick on
ice
her.
cream. She's so cute.
Sounds
Now
like
tell me
fun.
a pick. Lucas kind of chiming. Now tell me a pick on her too.
Oh yeah, you gotta pick on them. That's half the fun.
Half the fun of having a little sibling. I was an only child, so I never got to tease anyone.
Yeah, same here.
I couldn't imagine not being an only child, having everything I wanted and not having to compete. Made life fairly excellent.
I guess it depends a bit, but if you're an only child, your parents' expectations kind of rise. You're the only one whose their eyes are upon, anyways. She'll look down at her glass, which is almost empty by now.
I guess, but then again, the other way too. Depending on who your parents are, they can not pay very much attention to you either.
It's very true.
I suppose mine paid plenty of attention. They wanted what was best for me, after all. And she'll look wistfully over at her guitar, which is still on this stage.
Eddie kind of looks down at the stomach and holds a hand on it and goes, I'll be right back. And goes off to the bathroom real quick.
Guess he can't keep
And
down his bourbon.
at least he was better about it than the other man.
Indeed. I better go make sure he's doing all right. And Calvin will head off after him.
And Lucas would just probably start put down the green uh, the green coloring pencil utensil he was using, and probably pick up a red one.
And how close are you sitting to Aveline?
Depends on how close Aveline's sitting to me, because
She's still at the bar,
and Lucas is at the bar, so fairly close.
and she'll try to look over your shoulder to see what you're drawing.
And after a little, probably knows, like, he'll stop what he's doing for a second. He'll kind of let her see.
And she'll
And,
just glance upon it.
and when she sees it, and it's this beautifully sketched out tree, and the it looks like the nighttime skies. You can see it. The grass is nice and green. It looks like he's he's really just detail, but a lot of detail in this. Like in each, like you can just tell this is something he treasures just by looking at the amount of detail he's put into it. And the moment everything, let's see, the grass and top of the tree is kind of, and at the moment he is coloring in 5 roses, or he started coloring in a couple of roses.
And she'll give a nod of approval before she goes to kind of sit back in her seat. How long have you been drawing?
Well, like you, ever since I can remember. Let's see. I think I truly picked up when I was in middle school. I've always been intrigued with drawing since my little stick figures, and then by the time I was in 7th or 8th grade, I started picking up some pretty good detail, and been drawing ever since.
I tried to pick it up, and even though I had a little bit of a knack for it, I never really got to practice it outside of school. It was just always the next new music lesson.
Art was my life. Painting. Never was really into sculpting. Mostly just the give me a blank canvas or a blank piece of paper and let me work with it.
I got a filled-in piece of paper telling me what to play, and I had to play it. I got to the point where I could almost just play it based off of ear, but that's a different story.
And during their chat, Kelvin would have followed Eddie into the bathroom, and once he got in there, he would allow him the dignity of removing the substances from his system before uh, holding them off before he headed off. Just really quickly, wasn't able to tell you when you first got here. No drinking from the live subjects while you're here, please. As much as it is a temptation to do so, I prefer to keep my girls looking healthy.
Eddie wipes his chin a little bit. He says, "Yeah, no problem. I understand. I don't want a masquerade breach."
No, I do appreciate that. Anyway, was it worth it?
Oh yeah, that shit was great. It wasn't like I drank a whole bottle or anything.
True. Well, hey, maybe with enough practice you'll be able to hold it down.
We'll see. Maybe one day. So, how long you been in town?
Only about a month.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I haven't been here that long myself. I'm a fellow business owner. I run the junkyard and chop shop down the road. Might have seen the blue and white sign. I don't know. Driving around. I don't know if you drive around. Is that a thing? You like cars? Motorcycles?
I'm a car aficionado. That 2006 Lotus out in the lot is mine.
Sweet. Dude, you gotta take me for a spin.
Here, I'll do you one better. And he pulls the keys out of the pocket. Just make sure it comes back in one piece.
And he's just like, holds the keys, or catches the key, or yeah, takes the keys and just like, just looks at you with like wide eyes, like childlike grin on his face. I'll be right back.
And Kelvin walks out with Eddie and watches him dash for the door.
And Aveline will just watch as Eddie giddily rushes out the door over to wherever the car is and kind of give a bit of a grin.
Lucas will
Seems
turn
rather
to
happy.
Calvin. What'd you give him?
Keys to the car. He wanted to take a spin and see what kind of fun he could have with it.
The one that you drove up in?
Yeah. It has a lot of speed, that one. It was made for the Autobahn and then converted for American style.
Well, let's hope he doesn't have too much fun.
Well, if we hear sirens, we will then.
I'm assuming the parking lot is fairly empty now.
Yeah, it's fairly empty. There's just whatever you guys showed up on, yeah, either one. And couple of dancers' cars. But other than that, it's fairly empty. Both limos, the regular stretch and the SUV stretch that the club employs for parties.
Okay. Eddie's gonna open the door to the car. Is it like a electronic key fob that opens the door, or is it just a handle?
Electronic key prob, and the doors swing upwards.
Like gull wings? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
and it's pitch black and has all the latest gadgets, police scanner, uh, night riding lights for underneath the car. Just a whole bunch of stuff to deck it out.
Eddie kind of waits for the door to come up and then looks inside. He's just like, "Oh yeah!" And he climbs into the car, shuts the door, doesn't bother to put on the seatbelt, and starts the car with the key. Starts revving it, going, kind of trying to get an idea of like how the clutch and everything is, and then he's gonna take off and drive around the block a few times, and he's going fast, but he's not going like more than like 20 over the speed limit because he does not want to get like pulled over. And then when he gets back to the parking lot, he's gonna do some donuts and then kind of pull up to the front of the club and stop the car. Do you want me to roll for any of that, or?
No, I'm going to say that goes just because I don't want my vehicle wrecked. But it handles beautifully. I mean, street racing tires on the thing, and if you go through all the switches, you'll notice one of the switches that are extra that shouldn't really be there makes the windshield go into like a night radar type mode, allowing you to drive in pitch blackness.
Neat. Without headlights, so that's cool.
Oh.
Eddie probably saw that and went, "What the fuck?" Eddie opens the the car door and emerges from the vehicle, and he's just kind of like on solid ground again, like befuddled a little bit, like that thing is fast. And he extends the keys, like shaking a little bit. Going to hand them back to Calvin.
And Calvin has that knowing smirk on his face. Um, Also, that little, you know, yeah, I'm that rich type deal.
Yeah, that's a little bit out of Eddie's price range. I mean, he could probably get the equivalent motorcycle, but that would be like tapping him out for a while. So he is appreciative.
So after getting the keys back, he slips it back into his pocket, his jacket pocket, and uh, proceeds to continue to watch one of the dancers that is up on the stage, seeming to take more interest.
And he's gonna kind of see that he's watching the dancer, and he's gonna watch the dancer as well, kind of admire.
Is the bartender still working?
Yeah, the bartender stayed on for the night.
Should probably ask for a second glass of wine, but it's time for it to be full.
And by this time, Lucas would probably order his own glass of wine.
And Calvin will keep the dancing going despite the lack of interest from the kindred society. Though probably for the better at this point, as he brought in a human for entertainment. So, he's keeping everything pretty much on the down low for that portion of it.
Rather silent after party. And she'll just look between the three of them. I'm not disturbing anything, am I?
Calvin will shake his head. No, not really. I was just expecting a better turnout from a society of sorts.
I tried getting people, but nobody would respond back, except for Eddie over here.
Busy weekend then.
Well,
Seems like it.
there's all kinds of stuff going on. I've been having nightmares. Have you been having those nightmares? I've been having those nightmares. That's just crazy.
Lucas would you could see the big, you just by his sigh, you can tell he has been having them and he does not want to talk about them.
And she'll cock an eye before looking down at her drink.
Quick question about the nightmares, because I haven't seen any of the draw up for it. Have you had to kill somebody to have these nightmares?
If
No,
you
you just
saw
have to have
someone
seen
die,
somebody die.
Well, like recently or ever?
Just
ever.
ever.
Chell's haunted by everything. As a comparison.
Well, I'm pretty sure Kelvin has seen death in his life, just not since he's been in Independence.
Yeah, I think you would have seen things, and you may have heard a voice from the person that you saw die.
And death, actually, you would have seen him, and he would have left you a number 4 in your vitae on the floor when you woke up.
I have a question. Would she have experienced any of this? Because she just got to town, and I don't think she's ever seen anyone die.
As long as she hasn't seen anyone die or hasn't killed anybody, she should be fine.
But that may
Yeah, she. Hmm?
that may change. You may eventually see someone die. I was making.
Well, for now she's
So,
innocent. And she's just looking down at her drink while the rest of you talk.
And he's gonna take a look at the drink, and because he had his curiosities before, but now he's going to assert his curiosity. Um, would that be perception, alertness?
Well, you may have noticed that she ordered a new drink, and she hasn't added anything to it. But if you're inspecting the old glass, has the old glass been taken away?
Yeah, good call.
We'll leave that to the fate dice. Let's see how good my bartender's doing tonight. Negative roll means no, and everything else means yes. And I got a blank roll, so it is gone.
Okay. Yeah, man.
actually, Lucas would kind of, when she wasn't paying attention, kind of look at her and see if you can get an aura read from her. Oh.
Alright, where the hell's the chart?
Okay, you can tell me. I get the shade and the main color.
Well, one thing you're going to notice is it's bright. It's
Okay.
pretty much human looking, but let's see, shade and color.
Yeah, shade was the bright, so no,
Or
main color.
I am trying to figure out what. I'm trying to figure it out because right now she's kind of in thought, so maybe even daydreaming, but. Actually, no, you wouldn't get the daydreaming part. Let's see. Do you have a chart that I can look at? Because I don't know if the one I'm looking at on the subnet is correct.
This is what I look at.
This is the first time someone's read my aura. Which is kind of funny. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to look for something that maybe says in thought. So maybe like either gold or white, innocent or spiritual.
Innocence or spiritual? Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
she's rather calm right now. Just yeah, you know what? It's light blue.
Light blue.
calm, light blue, conservative.
So light blue? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like blue rain.
Idealistic, yellow.
You get the general feeling.
Yeah, okay.
She's generally relaxed and rather thoughtful at the moment.
Okay. Lucas would just kind of shrug. Continue doing what he was doing.
Is that for like every vampire in the room, or everything
That
in the
was-
room?
That was just for her.
Okay.
Because I assume that she's on his left and you guys are on his right. So I kind of get it.
She's innocent.
Char, you realize that was also a color joke too. Wait.
Hugh.
Ah.
Christ.
Does she notice Lucas looking at him? Looking at her?
He would have done it. Again, I said he did it when she was not paying attention.
All right. I'm not gonna make any rolls because she's just looking at her drink and maybe like swirling it about in her glass, taking a sip here and there.
Lucas probably didn't know. So did you enjoy your ride?
Yeah.
How was the car? It looked rather fancy when when he pulled up in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing is it's like a fucking spaceship, man.
I wouldn't go quite that far.
You could fly to the moon with it.
You can fly very fast with that thing. If it
Fly
had,
down the road.
it might take off. How much do you pay for that thing anyway?
600,000 roughly.
It's just
Before
like-
the modifications.
Lucas will get that. Damn, kind of look.
And Aveline's
take
just
a drink.
gonna whistle at that. Almost a bit wistfully. I've never spent that much on a car, but I suppose I just needed something to hold all my instruments.
The only thing I've spent close to that is the money to get the garage started up. Whew.
Calvin just shrugs. It was a good investment. Quite the chick magnet.
I'd say definitely.
Plus, you only live once. Might as well live it up while you can.
And she'll roll her eyes at this. You only live once. You only die once as well.
And he kind of gives her like a little bit of a sideways glance because he's still not sure if she's human or vampire or what's going on. Like, what are you?
And she'll just sip her wine.
Calvin will shrug his shoulders at this. True enough. But hopefully, death can always be averted until the final moments of need. And who knows? With the technology they're coming out with today, we could all live forever.
And she'll laugh a little at that. Almost as if it sounds a bit ridiculous. But then she'll just kind of hold a hand up. Excuse me for a moment, I need to go to the bathroom. And she'll be setting her glass down and wandering on off to the women's room.
And after she does that, they're just kind of probably seeing Eddie trying to looking at her, and now like is she human? And like,
Yeah.
Well, I can-
Eddie looks back at Lucas and says, Is she?
according to my perception, yeah, she's human.
Huh.
As far as I can tell.
I wonder what the fuck she was pouring in a drink. What the fuck was that about? And he kind of looks at Calvin and Lucas back and forth as he says that.
Oh, what did he say?
What the fuck did she put in a drink? What was that all about?
I don't know. Looked like the wine itself, but yeah, that's what got me kind of wondering. So
Yeah, unless she's like really, really, really alcoholic. Just add some Everclear to this wine. I don't want to be able to see in the morning.
Well, that'd be one way to do it. But I prefer the sins of the flesh to the sins of the drink.
As I can tell. He chuckles to himself.
Anyway, I'll be right back. He's going to get up and head off to the DJ station to start up a pre-made soundtrack.
So Eddie turns to Lucas. So, Tordor? I mean, nods to kind of in the direction of Calvin.
Lucas will just nod.
Yeah, it sounds about right. You guys and your pretty stuff. But hey, makes the city look shiny. I'm happy with it. So, yeah, you've only met him the one time then? Lucas. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Whoa.
You only met him the one time then?
Yeah. At the Torador meeting to choose our Primogen.
Yeah, what happened there? I'm super intrigued because
I
what
really
is
have
going on
no
after?
clue.
Yeah.
Just politics.
Yeah. You
Politics
find
and
a new
its.
one, or what's going on with that? Because last I heard,
I have.
there was some trouble there.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe Mitch is gonna lay down the law and be like, "You can't have one. Fuck you."
I wouldn't blame
Gonna be like the gangrel, apparently.
him. Oh god. Yeah.
I think every clan should have a primogen, though. Just gotta figure out who it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
What's so funny?
Oh, sorry, I was out of character. I was reading the thing Chara said.
Oh, okay. So what music comes on the speakers?
Oh, it's going to start off with a Cowboy Casanova, Calvin's theme song, and you'll actually see Calvin go up on the stage with the girl who was dancing dancing there earlier, and he's going to take her in his arms and proceed to dance with her. If you want, I'll roll it, but quite well. If not,
You're
Do
good.
it.
do it. Okay.
Because rolling is fun.
Rolling
This
is
one.
fun.
Gonna roll this one die. It's a 3.
So 4 successes.
Nice.
So yeah, he does a fairly decent job twirling this human around the pole and uh, generally seducing her with his eyes. You know, the whole devil in disguise bullcrap. Very appropriate song for Calvin. But a lot of club, modern heavy sex songs are going to come up. If you want, I can look up my station and tell you what comes up when it comes up, but I'd have to find my PlayStation controller. So, yes, I have a channel for when my girlfriend comes over. Anyway, why pay for it when you can get it for free?
Right.
But, sorry, distracted. So yeah, that goes out. He does that. Successes all around. Yay for him. And after the song, he's going to step down with her tucked under his arms and head off to the grouping. Well, gentlemen, lady, enjoy the rest of your night. Show yourself out when you're done. I have business to attend to.
And she was just leaving the bathroom when you said that.
When he says business, it's he gives a very lustful stare.
Eddie looks at the guy, winks, and gives him like a little salute.
Lucas will just kind of raise his glass. Look at that.
And Evelyn will just kind of facepalm. And probably start heading to the stage to go grab her equipment. Unplugging her guitar and putting it back in the case and taking the little, even if she didn't use it, taking the little sound system that she brought along and pulling up the handle so she could start wheeling it away.
Lucas might chime in. Need any help with that?
No, I'm fine. I'm only a couple blocks from here anyways.
There it is.
And she'll give a bit of a salute. Mind holding the door open, though?
Not a problem.
Why, thank you, gentlemen. And she'll say that almost a bit sarcastically because of the location she's at.
Eddie will help you open doors to get your equipment out as well. If there's like a second set of doors or something.
And before leaving, she'll kind of give a little bit of a bow before saying thank you and wandering off into the night with her guitar case in hand and the sound system trailing behind her.
Eddie's gonna look over at Lucas and say, "Well, that was fun. He's pretty fucking interesting."
Yep.
Alright, well, I'll see you later. And he kind of goes for like a handshake.
Lucas will accept.
Gives you kind of like a hearty handshake and then says, time to get back to my woman. He gets on his motorcycle and revs it a few times and then heads off back to the junkyard in a noisy rush.
Lucas will go back and grab his sketchbook in his bag and he'll probably tip the bartender there for the drink and he'll go off and get in his car and take off.
And so with that, the kindred go about their business for the rest of their night. Does anyone need to make rolls for anything? Maybe not pertaining to the scene?
I don't suppose
so.
I do.
No, Eddie's probably gonna go home and get feed on his herd a little bit and get back up to the tippy top of his blood points.
Aveline technically already ate.
I thought so.
Lucas is probably just gonna, probably do the same, but just with, random people.
Alright. So with that, thank you players for playing and watchers for watching. Have a good night.